Stampers! Today we're going to be making this little bottle for the Christmas holiday. And this is a great little canister. I actually got this at the Container Shop, the Container Store, and you can get them online as well. But any little container will work. You can put little candies in here, embellishments. I actually use these containers for all kinds of different embellishments. I have this one with little jingle bells, buttons in them, just anything that you can think of. You can also put little Jordan almonds inside of here, or little candies to give to the recipient. So it's a real neat little present to give to somebody, and they don't cost a lot, and it's a real fun and fast, easy project to do. So I'm going to show you how I made mine. Anytime you have an odd-shaped thing that you're going to be using, because you may not be using the same kind of jar that I have or bottle, the easiest way to measure around it to get your circumference around something is just use a tape measure. So mine happens to measure 7.5 inches around. So I'm going to take an extra 1/2 inch and use that for a little bit of overlap in the back here. So mine is actually going to be 8 inches, and I measured this bottle to be 2 3/4 inches. So I'm cutting it just shy of 2 3/4 inches, just so I cover the whole front of the bottle. So we'll get started. So here's our little jar here, and I've already got my paper cut. So all we're going to do is put a little piece of score tape on the back here. And the score tape is great because it rips off very easily, easy to use. Or you can use the red line tape, either one. Whatever works for you is good. We'll take this off. And we'll go ahead and line this up on the bottle already. And I'm just going to wrap it around. And just try to get it even at the end here. You don't have to worry about scoring it or anything like that, unless you have something with really sharp edges. Mine happens to have kind of a roundish edge, so I'm not even going to worry about scoring around it. It'll fit perfect. So there's the little container cover so far. So now in order to make all the embellishments on here, I'll kind of show you what I did. All I did was I cut a scallop circle for the outside, and we'll do that first because we're going to be putting some sparklies on there, so I just want those to dry a little bit. Move this out of the way for a moment. And I'm going to use a glue pen and just dot around the outside of the scallop just to give it a little sparkle. And use some of my dazzling diamonds here. I went about halfway around so that I can hold it easier. And then I'll just sprinkle this on, tap it off, and then we'll finish off the rest of them. And then we'll set this aside to dry for a couple minutes. And it doesn't take long, but just so you don't smear it. Okay, and that'll be set over here. Then the next thing what we're going to do is we're going to be just go ahead and punch out some circles. So I've got garden green around the middle circle. So we're going to be using the 1 1/4 inch punch and punching out a circle for that. And then our next layer is actually the little stamped layer. And I'm using the stamp set every little bit. And it's this little ornament here, and this is a great stamp set because it has lots of little stamps in here, and they're all so cute. Look at this little penguin, isn't that cute? And the little dog. I mean, I've used so many of these stamp sets, and they're great for little tags, cards, I mean, you name it. So we're going to be using the ornament from this set, and I'm going to show you how I actually colored that in, so you kind of get an idea of how I got this detail in here to kind of pop a little bit. So I got mine on a clear block, because I do have the clear stamp set. I'm going to use the black Stays On ink, and we'll just go ahead and stamp that right down there. And then I'm going to color this in. So what I'm going to use is I'm using a Stampin' Right markers. So I've got Daffodil Delight, I've got Garden Green, and I've got Cherry Cobbler, and I've got a blender pen. And this is the most important part of this whole part here is the blender pen. So we'll just go ahead and color this in very quickly. And you'll see how fast this goes. I mean, you could mass produce these pretty easily. Oh, let's color in the heart next. So we've got that colored in. So the last part is the green. And what I'm going to do with the green part of the ornament is I'm just going to color in the outer parts of the ornament. I'm not actually going to go all the way through and make it solid. And I'll show you why we do that. So I'm just kind of going around the edges, all the way around. So I've got a little bit of a white area here. So now I'm going to take my blender pen and just kind of blend in with the ink. And that's just going to kind of give you an area of reflection. So it gives a little bit more depth to this particular stamp that we're doing. And you see how that kind of looks on there? Okay, so now the next thing you're going to do is just go ahead and punch out this little ornament. And I'm using the 1-inch circle punch. And we'll start assembling our little card, or our little emblem here for the box or the container. So I'm just going to go ahead and on my first layer, the green layer, I'm just going to use a little bit of snail and put that right down. My next layer, which is my ornament, I'm going to use some dimensionals because I do want that to pop up just a little bit. So we'll put a couple of those on the back of it. And we'll set that right in the center. Okay. And then I also added just a little bow. So I've got a real red, this is the taffeta ribbon. And to add the little bow, I'm going to use a small glue dot, a mini glue dot. And what you do with the glue dot is basically just put your ribbon down right on top of the glue dot. This is really probably very hard for you to see on camera, but there's a little tiny glue dot there. Just press your ribbon on that so you're not pulling it off with your nails or trying to get it. It's just too difficult to do it that way. And just press that right down on there. The only other thing I've done is I punched another little circle for the top here, just to give it a little bit more interest. So I'm going to take my 1 3/8 inch circle punch and punch another little circle. So that will be the top of our container. So now we can go ahead and just start putting this together. So I'm going to go ahead and use some snail, put that right on top there. And then as far as the rest of this, you just go ahead and use snail to attach it. And I've just added a little piece of silver tinsel here on the top. And that I just kind of wrapped around. And that's all there is to it. Pretty simple, easy, lots of fun to do, great little project. And I hope you enjoy that and have a great day and a wonderful holiday. Thank you.